Because the question came up every so often. I've been doing this for 19 years. And every so often, this question will come up about, well, how are we going to save the masses? How are we going to save the masses? Now, I remember when I first started out in this thing in the late 1980s, we would have, me and the brothers in grad school up at Clark Atlanta University and stuff, we used to sit up for days trying to see how we're going to get black people out of this mess, because the crack was real bad back then and the contradictions, and stuff like that and all, and so we would sit up and have all these discussions, and nothing we could think of physically that we know that would work. So we came to the conclusion when we studied the other revolutionaries from the late 60s and the early 70s, Stokely Carmichael and the Black Power movements and all these other things with the Black Panthers and stuff like that. They said they had these black guys, they were working hard, and they used to have all these meetings on how we're going to get up out of this mess. He said, and they started handing out money and giving people jobs and different things in the 70s, and the people just got out of the black conscious thing, and it had these black leaders and stuff scratching their heads, about to go crazy, because they was like, damn, we don't know what happened to the people. So, so we realized that the masses have never done anything but died. Now, let me explain something here. But we need, but for people that grew on our people, and I know you should have a certain love for your people. Yeah. So we still need a better explanation on why is it that the masses can only die, but they can't be everybody, because there's not a national consciousness. And we know that our consciousness is only 0 point something, which means out of millions of black people, you might have at best, on world total, maybe a few thousand, maybe less than that, and conscious people. But more and more people are becoming conscious every day. People could bring the phone and stuff, say, I want to get some Bobby products and stuff like that. And Linda will say, well, how long you been in this? Well, I just heard about it last week.
So
you
true.
See, I heard of it the other day. So there are people waking up. You see what I'm saying? That's why they have to tamper with stuff, with this consciousness and with this pioneer stuff by putting all that soy in the food and all other kind of crazy stuff and like that, because the people are waking up. But this is the key. Why is it that most of the people in the consciousness are just a few people, but why is it the masses are still remain dead? And so, in order to explain this, we need a better explanation. Well, the Egyptians were the masters of knowledge, or the Hemmites. So you have R.A. Swallow-the-Lubitz, who was an Egyptologist that went down and studied Hemmitt. He studied at the Temple of Luxor and excavated the Temple of Luxor for 15 years in the 1940s. Okay. But he came, so they had a thing agreed upon that the Egyptologists will only talk about the pharaohs built these pyramids and all this stuff was, for funerary stuff and all, but they always would play down that this is the origin of where all knowledge comes from. And they always play down the spiritual significance. You see, now always Swallow-the-Lewis started putting out his books. And he started talking about, no, this is talking about something else. This is some spirit stuff, and this is some stuff, and showing the mathematical sequences and stuff and all, And he put out the Temple of Man in a small book, where they released the bigger Temple of Men books in the late 90s. And they said, man, you damn near need math just to figure this shit out. So it showed you that these people were the independent of all knowledge, the Hemmites, the Egyptians. But during his study at the Temple of Luxor, he hit upon something that the priest had put in hieroglyphics and metadata and knew this, and that's why the priest ran the society. What happened was, the Egyptians say that you got 3 different types of people. You got your conscious, which is the highest level. Then you have your intellectuals, which is the next level, but they're not as high as the consciousness. And then you have what is called automatons. And automatons are people that don't even have a mind. Now check this shit out. Do you know that everybody down here doesn't have a mind? A mind has to be cultivated. So in order for your mind to develop, you got to be cultivated in a society that knows how to get your jumpstart your mind to working. So this makes sense, because sometimes I say, did them niggas ever? What was that nigga thinking? You know, two black men in 1993 killed each other over 3 fucking cents, 3 pennies here in Atlanta. And you got to ask yourself, what were these damn niggas thinking? You see? They're called automatons. They're on automation, which means they can only be controlled by the society. So whatever the society want to control them, they design this thing to control the society. And one of the things, how they design to control you and lock you in is education. Because it's not real education. You see what I'm saying? It locks the mind down, you see. So what happened was here is most of the people in the society don't develop a mind. They are only imitating pockets of the society that they are in. Programs that are designed for them, you see what I'm saying? That is designed for them to go about their day. But whenever you introduce consciousness to them, and they don't have a mind, they throw it away. They think you crazy. Yeah. You see. And what it is, they're called automatons. Now, he talks about this in his book, Sacred Science. R.A. Schwaller de Lubitz. Let me spell that. But his wife came up, and she did a book called The Opening of the Way. Yeah. And she even simplified his theories of the stuff. He got the stuff from Metanetta out of Temple of Luxor and Karnak. So what she did is she was more of a metaphysician. So what she did is that she put it on layman's terms. And the name of her book is called The Opening of the Way. If you don't get the author's name, you just need the title of the book, The Opening of the Way, a practical guide for the wisdom teachings of ancient Egypt. In there, and she goes into this stuff. And it gives you an explanation why people are the way they are. So in that particular book, turn to page 32 in her book. It's the heading of that particular chapter is going to be called The Consciousness in Man. In man. So most people, they're born here. Some people come to this planet with a high spirit. And you incarnated down here because you came back to know. And so what happens here is you came back to know. As a result, you automatically, and you ask any conscious person, how long you been thinking like this? They say, all my life. You see what I'm saying? All my life. You say, and even when you wasn't conscious, you just thought different. You always thought you were special. And that is a way of your spirit incarnating down here so one day you can wake up. The other people, they come down and then they get trapped into the educational system that the government has designed where they took, see, what happened was the Moors put this thing together. They gave them the spiritual aspect and they gave them the several liberal arts. So what happened was that after the Moors was kicked out and the Europeans started designing this stuff, especially Britain, Oxford, Cambridge, and all of those types of things, and some of the schools in France, what they agreed to, because it was all Masonics, was to split it in half and give you the several liberal arts, but don't give you the stuff that explains the quantum world, the invisible world, the spirit world. Everything has another reaction. So what it is because as a result, the seven liberal arts locks you in and make you call a left brain prisoner. Yeah. So that's why you can go to some professors, or you can go to some people that so-called educated and all, and you will tell them about this stuff, and they go, I can't get that. That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. And then they give you the fake religion to lock you in. It teaches you moralism, but it don't teach you nothing on the spiritual aspect, because everything's spiritual when it comes to the religion that you go in these churches, they say is evil. So the second one is the intellectual person. He's trapped. And the third one is one that didn't get developed at all, and that's the majority of the people. They're locked down by the society where their minds don't even develop. So in ancient Egypt, there's a book also called Stellar Man by John Bain, Stellar Man. And they said, no, not everybody down here has a mind. Not everybody down here has a mind. The masses are not even living. They're transitory spooks. They're literally zombies.
Yes. Earlier you spoke about the mind. And the mind, as we know it, is everything. And every thought, action, conduct, behavior begins with the mind, right?
Yes.
Now, I know we've been programmed and conditioned to say things that we shouldn't, has no power in it. For example, we have people, we hear them say, like, believe in your heart. It's in the heart. My heart told me this, that, and the other. Could you please tell our people the difference between the mind and the heart? The heart is there to only function to pump the blood.
Oh, no.
For life.
Oh, no.
Or is there more?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
You have made an F. You done flunked that class.
Right. Because if there's more to it, I need to know.
Oh, no. You done flunked that class. The mind. Now, the mind is the first level. The Rudy Poont level. The line is the inferior level. Inside of your heart is an intelligence. The Egyptians, when they mummified a body, they preserved the heart. They snatched the brain right out of the body. Say, that's a piece of garbage that you don't even need. It only functions in the mundane physical world. The intelligence that we're talking about, all of that stuff is not coming from the brain. The pineal gland is an adversary or a manifestation of the heart chakra. The heart is the most important thing. Hell, you even see Jesus pointing at a doggone heart. You see, you don't even have, look at, what separates, look. There's a few of us that have consciousness. It's like less than 1% on the earth total. What separates you from having consciousness and your stupid family members that you tried to tell is and they too dumb to understand it, and all these other crazy Negroes out in the street? What separates it is you're radiating at a level of vibration of your heart chakra, and they're radiating at a vibration of the root chakra in the anus. So they can only can understand mundane and material things. You can't even get into consciousness until you radiate at a vibration of the heart chakra. The subconscious mind that we're talking about here gets its origin in the heart. Know this. You see, you study any ancient stuff, especially any ancient Egyptian stuff and ancient East Indian stuff. They got a whole book called the triadic vibration of the heart or whatever. Let me see if I can get the name of it. I got a library in here, but it's not what I got. It's what I can find. It's massive books. It's something. But anyway, no. That was giving you you was getting 101 with the mind.
Okay.
This is what we talking about here is doggone PhD level. The heart is the ultimate thing. As a matter of fact, they tell you right now, if your heart ain't in it, you see what I'm saying? You see, it ain't real. Now, what I mean by that is this. The mind also consists of two things. It consists of the pineal gland, which has the potential where there could be the seat of the soul could lodge in it. But it also consists of, mostly for people down here, the ego. And the ego is an illusion. It doesn't even exist. It only supposes itself to be a human being. And basically, 90% of our function is on the ego level, the illusionary level. So that can be corrupted. The mind can be corrupted, but the heart is pure. That is that is the brain of your soul. You see what I'm saying? The heart is the brain of your soul. You see, that's why women. That's why they tell men that they must open up more. That's the key to a man's evolution to getting to the higher level. He must open up his heart more. That's right. You see what I'm saying? He must open up his heart more. You see what I'm saying?